Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the We Know Nothing podcast. This week, we're going to be talking about Season 7, Episode 5, Eastwatch. With me today are
Mike Lehman,
Nicholas Talan,
and I'm your host, Nathan Talan. I mean, let's just jump right in. It starts off with Jaime and Bronn just popping up, half a mile down from the battlefield. I don't know how that happened, but
they're fine. It was a river. They said it was a river.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That was just in the middle. I don't know.
Weird little
That was
bank in
weird
that
to
river.
me. They had to do it for the story. They
yeah,
had
I mean, they could have done it better, I feel, but come up with a better reason,
It
like
was
for him to
fine.
escape.
And,
seemed
I
fine
mean,
to me.
but at least they had Bronn pull up Jaime, compared to if Jaime were to just float up with all that armor on. That would have been a major plot hole within the story, within Game of Thrones history, within Jaime's storyline.
Yeah, but something interesting that Jaime says is that, like, you could have killed me. He says that to Bronn. It's like, wait a second, Jaime, what's going through your head right now, bud?
Well, he just came up from almost drowning, so.
I mean, he was charging at a dragon, though, and he's
Yeah.
worried about Bronn killing him.
Yeah, I don't like Game of Thrones again.
No, like, do you
Jamie
think...
was completely okay dying right there.
Yeah,
right?
I think Jaime wanted to die.
Yeah,
honestly.
like that was a really it's a turning point because
Yeah, because he's known as the Kingslayer. He wanted to give it at least one whirl at being known as the Dragon Slayer.
Well, he was aiming for Daenerys. He wasn't
Yeah,
aiming
yeah.
for the dragon.
Yeah, he wanted to end the war.
Dragon Mother Slayer.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Okay, and then it just cuts to, like, kind of Tyrion walking through all the carnage that happened, kind of what he caused in a way.
He's
His family
dejected.
just
He
decimated.
didn't cause anything, honestly. Daenerys is insane.
No, not true. She's fighting a war, and I mean,
No,
Tyrion wasn't...
Yeah, but no.
Tyrion didn't want to fight a war even though he knew it was coming.
Tyrion had to do this, had to kind of go along with it, considering he messed up the two previous war plans, kind of
Mhm.
thing.
The
So,
strategies.
yeah, I'm 100% fine with that. But
He's looking rough, isn't he?
Yeah, man. Tyrion didn't really have much to do this season, but now he's starting to get more and more. But, like, these first couple episodes, he's said, like, maybe a couple lines.
He's
and-
he's the way in, right? He's the character that we see through the audience's eyes, where he's just like, this is not what the plan. Like,
Yeah.
this is not what was supposed to happen.
yeah.
And then, even then, he's, like, trying to convince Daenerys not to burn Sam's brother and father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
Dickon didn't last long.
Yeah, they recast him and everything, and then he just dies.
Yeah, I didn't really get that. Plus,
I thought he was gonna join Daenerys's
I did too.
thing
I
because
did.
they recast him. It's like they kind of built him up to be a character.
No,
He died.
I
He's
don't
gone.
know. I can't align this with the books, but I think they're starting to be like, okay, we gotta start wrapping up some of these storylines, kind of thing.
Let's kill him with the
but
dragon.
then at the same time, they aren't because characters should have been dying in the dragon thing. Like I feel like Bronn, like sure he got to hit a dragon,
Mm-hmm.
should have died. Jaime maybe. Like I don't know what they're building Jaime up to. It better be good if he survived this drowning, survived getting fire blown at him.
I agree with Bronn. Bronn should be dead. Right
And now it seems like it's a little further in the episode, but now it seems like he's gonna die in one of the most stupid ways ever because Cersei's
they're running
like,
out of time, and I mean, as we're gonna talk about later, you have 7 really important characters going off beyond the wall. I mean, that just shows that Bronn, lower on the totem pole, his death's probably gonna be booty.
Yeah.
I feel like Bronn's death is going to be Jaime's rebirth. I feel like he's gonna give his life for Jaime, and then that's gonna be Jaime's moment where he's finally like against Cersei, not against her, but she's becomes less of a priority.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, because Bronn's gonna die some cheap way now by Cersei.
Why?
Because
she's
she told Jaime that Bronn was the one who set up the meeting with Tyrion.
And it was like he betrayed you. So what are you gonna do?
That doesn't
with him?
guarantee it.
I know, but
I mean,
I'm
what else would they do? Like,
I would
I
rather.
think he'll give his life for Jaime.
if he dies that way, if Cersei just like executes him, like I'm gonna be upset because they should have just killed him at
or he'll do a trial by combat and fight the mountain,
and then die.
kill the mountain and die. But then also
But then
we
the
have
Hound.
then we have people on the internet on Reddit talking about all the ways that we could still get a Clegane bowl.
Can I jump ahead? Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go for it.
There's 7 people north of the wall right now in that little party. The
Correct.
Azor High, I think you called it.
Well, people think John's the Azor Ahai.
Whatever.
That basically translates to the chosen one.
Okay.
So like LeBron Anakin Skywalker,
LeBron.
Justin Bieber. So
Justin Bieber.
so there's 7 north of the wall right now, and I remember you saying there were supposed to be 12.
Yeah, there was like
Oh
no.
No,
Hear
I just
me
want to
out.
know the other 5.
There's a bunch of red coats or red shirts because there's like some wildlings and some knights.
Okay. So we're gonna have some people that just die.
They're the people that are just carrying their luggage.
because if you
so
do
we can
see
get that cool shot with them all just walking without packages.
yeah, pretty much. But you see like even in the trailer, there's like that shot of them like in a circle.
Yeah.
There's 12 people there, so
Yeah.
it's probably just a bunch of wildlings.
And the shot where they're running away from something, that they're running away from something. You see people in the background that aren't any of the mains.
That's
It
the
would-
wildlings though.
It
Yeah,
would be
that's
weird
that's what I'm
though.
I
saying.
mean, not wildlings. That's the whites. They're whites running in the back. You see them because they showed in like
even
the
with the people.
yeah. Well, you see John, and then you see Tormund, and then like in the background, you see whites chasing them.
It would be weird. I feel like they're going to be more than just red shirts though, because it would be weird if you just meet 5 random people and those are going to be just
I don't
somebody.
think you're gonna meet them.
I don't think
They're just there.
Yeah, I think they're,
They're
just
just
gonna die.
But I mean, but they have to meet them because right now there's only 7,
Yeah,
so they
but
have to meet.
Well, no,
the
no,
I don't
other
think
5.
they're gonna
there,
have-
But like the audience, we're not gonna know those characters. They're just gonna be present there to add extra bodies.
They're going to be there.
Mhm.
They're not there now, so that means they have to meet.
No,
them.
No, they're there.
They're with them.
You see
No,
them.
there's only 7.
No, but you see we
That's
get the
the
shot of
shots.
the 7.
But you see them in one of the shots, and there's people.
yeah,
Carrying
they're
stuff.
carrying like a thing
In the background behind the gate, they were closing the gate on the other side of it, on the inside.
You see like even when it does like the dolly shot when it starts at John and you like see like everyone in the background, you see a bunch of people with their hoods up, and that's how you know they're not important characters, is because they're actually smart and put their hood up. And
Okay.
when they're walking out, you see them carrying like a sled, because that's what they're gonna put the white on when they capture it. And
Okay.
carry
Yeah,
it back.
because did you see?
No.
Okay.
we'll talk more because there's like a whole thing I want to go on when we get to like. Cause,
Yeah, I was jumping ahead.
but there's like
Yeah,
the
whatever,
7, like
Yeah,
7 keeps reappearing in Game of Thrones, and so
Light of the Seven.
yeah, all that stuff.
All that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But how do we feel about Dany kind of just burning the Tarly people?
One
She
step
gave.
closer.
I mean, she said, with some exposition there, she gave him a choice.
It's not quite younglings, but it's
See,
it's another step in the.
see, I'm on like honestly, I'm on Dan.
I just connected that. Okay.
I'm on Dany's side here. Like she gave him a choice.
yeah, I don't care that she burned them. Plus now Sam's the
Also,
house.
Also,
or head of
Dany is
the
still the
Tarly
better
house.
choice because Cersei wouldn't have given them a choice. She would have just killed them. Like that's 100% true. Cersei would have just murdered them.
I've said this on previous episodes. I hate Cersei,
Like the character or like her?
the character.
Yeah,
Why?
yeah, he does.
I'm sick of her in the show. She's. It's the thing is,
She's lasting to the last.
I know she is, but the thing is, we've talked about this before too. Cersei has been in the show along with Daenerys, Jon Snow, Peter Dinklage throughout the entirety of the show, and all of them have been evolving. And I feel like Cersei, she's evolved a little bit, but she's always been the same bitch. And I'm getting sick of her character. I want a fresh villain. Dude, this I mean, I know
You have other villains to go off of though. She's the main villain, but there's also other villains.
but
There's
she's
the
been
Night
there
King.
since the beginning.
Yeah.
What's
And
the
the
Night
thing is,
King's evolution?
But listen, can you?
Can
thing
you,
is,
can you just Nate? Can you?
the thing is, Cersei's a great character. Listen, no. Cersei is a great character for the show. I like that. I like Lena Headey,
Mm-hmm. She's
and it's fine. But me personally, kill her.
Okay.
It's that simple.
Well, I mean, then Jaime goes back and talks to Cersei, and you can see Cersei's kind of like, this war is pretty much lost. Like, she doesn't have much hope, but she said that she'd rather, instead of submit and die, to fight and die.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, a knight should know, or a soldier should know his place.
That's a
And then-
I'm just kidding.
And then you see Jaime kind of like sketched out. Like, you can see that he's starting
turning.
And she
Mhm.
just reels
just
them right
reels
back
him
in.
right back in with a little
I'm
bombshell later.
fake pregnant.
I don't think it's fake.
I think it's fake.
I think something will
I
happen.
think it's fake.
I think
You
it's
think,
I think
it's fake?
No,
Yeah, I don't think it's fake.
no.
I think it's a red herring that they had sex the episode before, and then that's the red herring, and it's just to be like, oh, she is pregnant because we just saw that the episode before. It's fake.
No, hear me out. I feel like it's going to be important to her, but look she's old. She's older. I feel like something's going to go wrong in the pregnancy. Or
it's a
Jaime-
dwarf and it kills her.
that's what people are thinking. Like, I'm down with that because that'd
That would be
super.
way too
And
coincidental.
it'd be way too hard to show that in. I mean, how are you going to convey that it's a dwarf baby?
Well, they look different.
Or
I mean, not really.
Yeah, they do. They have big heads.
Yeah, remember what
why
Oberyn
it
said about
killed-
Tyrion?
That's why Tyrion killed his mother, is because of his odd-shaped head.
I forgot.
and they
about
didn't
that.
have medicine to like help her out, so she bled out and died.
Yeah, but that's just too extra. That's like.
So hear me out. I think that maybe she's actually pregnant, but then once Jamie, like, hopefully this whole plan works out with the white, because I don't even know if it will.
That's by the way, I want to say that's the dumbest plan ever.
So-
because wait, she has an undead person helping her. What is bringing?
It's different
undead
though,
person?
because that undead person is made through the science.
But what if she wants the whites to serve her? Like,
Maybe she will. Maybe she'll become the Night Queen.
we'll see.
But hear me
What?
out. I don't think it will happen.
What?
I think she's gonna use this whole situation to her advantage, and while they're fighting the Night King, she's gonna say that she's gonna help him, and then she won't.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like Jamie will betray her because he sees this threat
Yep.
and take the army with him to help.
I
And then that's when
army's gone.
not the
I'm
entire army.
joking.
But
they
that's
pretty
when
much
that's
did.
the
They
final
got-
straw when Jamie betrays her because she said, "Don't betray me ever again." It's gonna happen, and then that's the final straw where she just goes full blown mad.
How many
and then-
episodes are left in this season?
One.
This
after
season?
this.
There's
Two.
two.
Two?
After this.
All right,
weekend,
so
there's
so we're not going to see a divide between Jamie and Cersei before the end
Maybe
of
at
the
the
season.
end of
Yeah,
we may end with
maybe.
that. We ended season 6 with Cersei sitting on the throne. Maybe we'll end season 7 with Jamie betraying her.
Bailey.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't
Jamie,
think so, but-
Jamie came back onto season 6. Maybe we'll see him leave.
I think the season ends with the wall coming down.
I think that's going to be a climax thing. I think they're going to save Jamie's moving away from Cersei to like a final third act kind of thing.
Well, this is the kind of the third act.
Yeah, it could be.
So maybe I can see it happening like first episode of season 8, like when the war is actually starting against the Night King and he starts marching, and then they do like a Deus Ex Machina thing where he just shows up and saves the day.
See, I'm
we'll
feeling-
see.
I'm feeling like the plot doesn't move very far after Jamie stops being on Cersei's side. I feel like that's kind of an ending to a line rather
Because
than
it's kind of like he's been on her side the entire show.
Yeah.
So when he finally decides not to, that's like, yeah, this is definitely the end of the show when something like that happens. But so then we cut to
or
Cersei and Tyrion give each other a hug and the show ends.
moving on.
So Jon is on Dragonstone. I guess he's
Yep.
just sitting there waiting for the dragons to come back.
Yeah.
And then, but
Makes a dragon
now,
friend.
cool, awesome scene, like Jon petting Drogon.
Yeah.
But what was Dany thinking? Like, that's her ally pretty much, and then she's just marching up with this dragon. The dragon could have ate
They wanted to
Jon.
recreate the Shrek scene
Yeah, that's-
with Donkey and the female dragon.
It's actually pretty close. Like, if you look at
Well,
it.
yeah, there's a GIF
You
going around
need-
on Twitter. Please go search for that.
You needed, for some reason, Dany needed to see that the dragon trusted Jon Snow. That was the only purpose of her being
Which
present
I don't
for
get
that.
how you could even bet on that.
And not
Whatever.
only did the dragon trust Jon Snow, but
It's
Jon
pupil dilated.
Jon pet the dragon.
Yeah.
And
Which
like,
doesn't mean that much.
it kind of does though.
Tyrion did it.
Yeah.
Jon's a Targaryen, so the dragon felt like they were brothers.
You definitely had that moment where the dragon knew something.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I trust this person.
Yeah.
Because they say even in the show, like dragons are smarter than humans.
But
They
that
say
exact
they'd
same
say that.
thing.
Like Tyrion says that.
But that exact
Then why
same thing
wouldn't the
happened with
dragon
Lannister.
zigzag when Bronn was going to shoot the arrow?
He doesn't know what it is. Dany didn't know what it was. What were you saying,
you buy
Mike?
that,
Nick
Mike?
cut you off.
Do you buy that?
I don't what?
Never mind.
Who?
Go ahead, though. What are you going to say?
Yes, it showed that the dragon was like, "Hey, you're probably a dragonborn or whatever like that."
Targaryen,
Yeah,
yeah.
fire. But
Get
but
fired.
that exact. But they've also had trust. I mean, he was freeing them from chains, but a Lannister, so it doesn't really prove all that much,
Oh,
or
I
as
know.
much as I think they wanted
no.
it to.
It's like it's not. We already seen something happen with another character that wasn't Dany touching the dragon,
Yeah.
so it wasn't like. But something interesting though is I forgot what I was going to say. But Dany sees Jon like petting Drogon,
Yeah.
and then she's like, interesting, because she didn't see
Yeah.
Tyrion.
No.
So she thinks like this is the only other person.
That's why she needed to be there. That was her trust. That was her in with Jon.
Is the theory that Tyrion is a Targaryen, is that out now? Has something happened that's proved
No,
that
but
otherwise?
I don't
I
kn-
know that was floating around.
I don't know if there's enough time for another Targaryen bomb.
Why?
Yeah, and if they did do it in this short amount of time, then you get cringe fest.
Yeah, they already are investing seasons worth into
For
Jon's.
Jon. Yeah, like
So why would they shoehorn in Tyrion's
and
thing
we
too?
got that coming up too with the Gilly thing, but
But this is what I was gonna say is in like the after the episode thing, Kit Harington was talking about like what that whole scene meant to Jon, and he knows that like even with direwolves and stuff, like if you show fear to like an animal like that, then they'll go after you. But you can see like in his face, he's scared, but he's still standing his ground instead of running because like that's the only thing you can do in that situation. Because otherwise, the dragon will think you're a wimp or easy prey, and then
That's why I like watching people ride a horse for the first time because the horse is not having it. God, I did it again. I gotta stop swearing.
no, it's fine. It adds comedy. Okay. But so Jon and Dany are having this like talk about her children. What was that head shake?
I really hope that there's no love here.
They're in love.
Who's in love?
How?
Jon and Dany.
Mike, are you with me with this? Is that stupid if
That's-
that happens?
I feel like they're related more than in love. I feel like this
They
is
are
a Han
related.
Solo.
Yeah, maybe one kiss or something, but
I think
for them to be together for more than 15 minutes in an episode would make me very disgusted.
I don't know. I think
I
I think
said
you're
it.
gonna be upset because I feel like the end game is them getting together. I feel like it's gonna happen.
Okay. I mean,
I just hope not. I mean, it wouldn't ruin the show for me, but like I don't like that. Like John said, like I know
there's
they're
no
poking
time
fun
for
at
it.
There's no time, so like I want the show to end before there is time for that.
There's gonna be time and it's gonna happen. That's my guess. And
Wait, so then how are you saying it with certainty if that's a guess?
because look at you, they're doing all these things that it would be a complete waste of time if they have them staring at each other for a solid 30 seconds. Also, when they say goodbye to each other and she basically has tears in her eyes saying, I've grown used to you. And then Jon kind of like is taken aback by it and says,
Maybe Daenerys will die before then.
maybe.
I don't know.
But-
okay, I see what you're saying, and I wouldn't like it. It wouldn't ruin the show. Hopefully it doesn't happen.
Okay. But then Jorah comes back. We get my boy Jorah back in the fray.
I think he just kind of knows
for like
at this
3
point.
seconds.
Yeah, I think Jorah just kind of knows that this Daenerys thing isn't gonna happen.
well, he still loves her,
Well,
even
no,
if it's
yeah,
not.
but I think he realizes that it's just not gonna happen. I think he does.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's still gonna like. I don't know why
He's
that's
still gonna serve her.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
just
know why
saying
that's a
it's
big deal. Like, it's never gonna happen. I don't think Danny Jorah is ever gonna happen.
I don't
But
It's
think-
like-
no, I'm just saying that from everything I've read everywhere. People were like, "Oh,
I
they
think-
have to
I don't know
like-"
why
people-
that would still be a thing that they would get together. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's-
people think Jorah's in like the friend zone for Danny, but I think he's in like the father zone. I think she sees it
that
as
seems
like
more apt,
like
more
an older
appropriate.
figure that like
Yeah.
watches over her, which he has been like the entirety of the show. So,
Yeah,
and I'm glad to see him back. I like when
I like his actor. I like his character. He was gone for a little bit. That's nice.
plus Tyrion kind of says like they need someone to kind of bring Danny down a little bit, and Jorah has done that throughout the entire show. Is kind of
yeah.
And I don't think Daenerys trusts anyone more than Jorah.
yeah,
But now Jorah's gone, and it's just Tyrion and Daenerys. So we'll probably see some more dragon.
and Varys.
action. And who? Oh,
Varys.
Varys. Yeah.
And Grey Worm.
Grey Worm
Grey
stuck
Worm's
in
stuck in
Casterly
Casterly Rock. What is happening there?
He'll be back.
Euron.
Also, where's Theon?
Euron's.
Oh, that's right.
Where's
No, he
Theon?
can't get away.
Why didn't
he's
Theon
stuck
go
there.
with Jon? Why didn't Theon do anything?
Where was Theon?
He said, "I need to talk to Danny about saving my sister."
Yeah,
Was
he
sleeping
disappeared.
during the.
He's snoozing for the.
Yeah, I
solid-
completely forgot about that. I don't think he would have went with Jon. Jon hates him, but I don't understand why he wasn't in that episode since they're still at Dragonstone and Daenerys is back. Okay.
What's
Let's
gonna
move on.
happen
Let's
to
move on before we
Theon?
get too upset.
Wait, what'd you say?
What's gonna happen to Theon? That's,
feel
he's
like
the
He's
only
got to have a
character-
shining moment. Like
He's
they
gonna
would
go save his sister or die for his sister this time.
They would be
You
stupid.
think so?
The writers would be stupid to have him go through all this torture. Literally, everyone knows that this guy's been tortured. They'd be stupid not to have him have a redeeming moment before he dies.
Here's what I want to happen. I want the remainder of this season and the entirety of next season
To be Bran.
to solely be spent on Theon just like gaming up, just like getting ready for war, training, going to save his sister, and he just gets there and he has his chance, and then he just drops his sword and he turns and he runs away, and that's like the last like cut. Game of Thrones over. Like I want that to be the last scene.
Like I understand what you're trying
I
to
don't
do with
think-
that statement, but it hurt me inside, and I disagree wholeheartedly with that.
And I'm glad that you're not writing the show. Okay, so then we finally see the White Walkers in the army of the dead. Bran gets to warg into like 85 ravens somehow.
Bran comes through.
Yeah,
He doesn't talk whatsoever. He's warging. He's going to meet the Night King.
I'm sick of you with your hate for Bran.
Fuck Bran, but he was so good in this episode.
Bran has been good throughout the whole show.
Also, when we get later and you see like the Arya Sansa tension.
You just said that you want 2 episodes on Theon getting hyped for war, and then he runs away.
Now I want 2 episodes plus next season spent doing
All
that.
right.
I want that to be the last scene of the
so
show.
so where's Bran with this whole Arya Sansa thing?
He's sitting out by the tree. This all happened, I think, they happened
The
at
winter
the same time.
the Winterfell was going slower than everything else.
Yeah,
is what
I
you're saying.
think both of those events happened at the same time
Okay.
because they were right next to each other. Correct?
What do you mean right next to each other?
Like do they
Not
happen
true.
right next to each other?
Not true.
What happens after?
Tyrion and Varys are talking about the note.
Well,
note.
I think Winterfell is going slower because Jon's not there. Jon speeds up time when he's there.
Yeah, Jon speeds up time for the entire show when he's involved.
Yeah,
He
because he just
does.
does the right thing.
Yeah.
And he's just like, hey,
There's no BS in between
Yeah.
journeys. He just goes where he needs to go and gets it done.
And
But-
he'd even go as far as drawing with crayons on cave wall.
Yeah, just to get the season sped up instead of Dany taking another season to trust Jon. Okay, so Bran sees the army of the dead and says that they need to send ravens. And then what we do see is Sam
Yep, I remember
at the
this scene.
Citadel.
That's stupid. I hate all the maesters.
Yeah, good for Sam getting out of there. But
Mhm.
they said, like, you hear some murmurs about how there's these false prophecies and that they shouldn't believe Bran and all this stuff. It's like, guys, you have another person that you accepted into your ranks saying that he's seen this. He was at Castle Black. Were you guys ever there? No.
They have not accepted him into their ranks.
They have,
Only the
because he's wearing
only the head.
They have accepted him to serve the ranks.
Yeah.
And that's why only the head maester is the only one that's accepted him because he's the only one that was everyone was pushing off Sam, and then the maester said, "We'll write a note back to confirm that this isn't Daenerys pulling a trick on us."
Idiot.
And then Sam's like, "I'm not gonna wait around for these old
Sam's
guys."
gone. Sam's out. Is he on his way to
Yeah,
Dragonstone?
no, he's on his way to.
I think he's
Winterfell.
going back to Winterfell,
Winterfell?
or Castle Black, but I don't know why he's
And
going there.
speaking of which, we have Gilly dropping a bomb that Sam brushes off.
Yeah, that Rhaegar got his marriage annulled.
That'll come back up. So that means Jon isn't a bastard. So this whole show has been a lie. Click off the video right now. Game of Thrones.
I
sucks.
think they're taking the book with them too.
Yeah, I think it'll be brought back up. I will.
But see,
I do.
Bran is very secretive of like that thing because he wouldn't tell Sansa, hasn't told Arya
Because
and
he
he's
doesn't
waiting
trust
for,
them.
Yeah, and he's waiting for Jon. But do you think he'd tell Sam?
There's gonna be something that happens. Wait, didn't Bran see Sam?
Yeah. Sam let him through the wall.
There's the trust.
All right, hold on. Jon Snow's mother was Ned's sister, right? But even if Rhaegar got his marriage annulled and then had Jon with Ned's sister, they weren't married. So
They
he's still
were
a
married.
They
bastard.
were married.
They
They
were
say-
married.
They say it said that Rhaegar got his marriage annulled, and then he also had a secret wedding ceremony.
Yeah,
Oh,
right
okay,
after.
okay.
And it literally says secret wedding ceremony in the book or something.
Well,
So-
what she was
Talk
reading,
about
like
exposition.
Braveheart.
no.
Yeah.
What she was reading was it wasn't like a book. It was like the notes that the Maester took on his day-to-day activities. That's what it was. And screw you guys, because I said that something important would be in what Sam was reading, and something was.
Was it?
That's the most important bombshell.
No.
Well,
Well, I'm not gonna have Nate pull this over on us. Nate said that it was gonna be something about the White Walkers.
I said White Walkers or Jon stuff.
Okay.
It has to
I don't
be.
think he said that.
Okay.
I'll have to go back and watch our previous episodes. I don't remember that. If so, good job. I just
Yeah.
said that there
Wanna
would be
high five?
nothing about the White Walkers. No.
It's something of importance,
No.
and it's super important. But what I think, because everyone's hyped up about this whole Jon thing, and it's great. You know, he's like the rightful heir, technically. But I don't think he'll ever take it. I think Gendry's might sit on the Iron Throne at the end.
Do you?
I like it.
Because I don't think Jon wants to rule.
I would have. That's who I would have picked.
Mm-hmm. and you'll have like Tyrion as a hand or whatever, or Davos. I know he'll be able to rule because he really doesn't have any experience. But I
Tyrion
feel
or
like that
Gendry.
might happen.
Yeah, I would take both
Yeah,
of
I
them.
mean, I'm fine with Gendry.
But because people are so hyped up about this whole Jon's a Targaryen thing. Rhaegar's his dad. No.
I'm hyped up about-
Ned's still his dad, and I feel like he won't accept the Targaryen thing at all.
I'm not hyped up about him being a Targaryen for the fact that he'd be the rightful heir. I'm hyped up because Jon, his whole life, has been called the bastard and all this stuff, but he's so much more powerful than what people have thought.
But
that's what I'm hyped up about.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like Jon's character, and he deserves that, but I don't care about him ruling in the end.
I always loved how it was like Jon's the bastard. I mean, the prince raised as a bastard. Joffrey was a bastard raised as a prince. And it's kind of like I want Jon to find out so he knows that he's not some bastard and he's like.
Well, he's gonna find out
hated
from
it.
Sam, isn't he?
Yeah, I think Sam and Bran. If Bran decides to tell Sam, I
And
don't know
every
what's gonna-
scene about it, including Jon, not every scene, but the one scene in season 6, that was incredible. Everything about it has been awesome.
I'm maybe, but see, that's what I feel is going to come into play is that like this whole war with the Night King is going down. Wow, he finds out. Maybe he develops feelings for Dany. He finds this out. Plus, he's got to fight a war. His life sucks. Jon Snow's life is awful. He finds out information at the wrong time. He's always put in this place of importance, even though he kind of doesn't want to.
Winterfell is people are wanting Sansa to rule.
Yeah, like come on.
He's not
guys.
going to be the prince. He's just going to be an awesome mercenary. He literally is going to have like the Han Solo storyline.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited, but I feel like people are hyping up this whole Targaryen part of him, and I don't think he was going to accept it.
The difference with Han Solo and him is Han Solo never found out that he was a Skywalker, though.
Okay, let's just. So then Tyrion.
I wouldn't put Skywalkers in Targaryen. I would put the Starks as the Skywalkers.
You know what I'm saying?
So Varys gets the raven and gives it to Jon. We had like that funny scene between Tyrion and Varys.
That was fine.
And then Jon finds out, kind of weird, how he's like, Arya's alive, Bran's alive, and he's not excited, like in the slightest bit. And then he's like, oh, and the White Walkers are marching on the wall. But like he kind of ropes in Arya and Bran being alive into like the same emotion as the Walkers marching towards the wall. And I feel like he should have been at least
I think you're reading
slightly
too much
happy.
into that.
No, he was very adamant, like very upset. And even Dany kind of says it where it's like,
Well,
I'm
he
happy
thought it-
for you. And
he
it's
thought
like,
his
you're
whole
not
He
happy.
thought his whole family was dead, and he's about to go fight the Night King. What is there to be happy about?
His family's alive.
Okay, but he still has to go fight the Night King.
In his
doesn't,
mind,
though.
He
though,
thinks that he's not going to see his family anymore.
in his mind, everyone's already dead, even the people who are alive.
True. But this is when Tyrion kind of comes up with the plan to capture a white and bring it down to Cersei.
Which I think is stupid.
That is ridiculous.
And
That is ridiculous.
That's the one part about this whole season that I'm like, no.
I mean, it makes sense.
No, it makes sense, but don't.
But
do
at the
it.
same time, it's like it would make sense if there was like packs of White Walkers. But they want to go into the
You're
the
gonna
whole
get
army.
one out of the main element.
Like, come on, guys.
I feel like that happened for a reason. There's going to be something that happens.
What do you mean?
They're going to get a White Walker. They're going to bring it.
They're not
past the
bringing a
wall,
White
It's
Walker.
going to turn into a human.
They're not bringing a White Walker. They're bringing a white.
A white.
white.
That's what I meant.
But if they bring back one that's basically a skeleton already, how would it turn into a human?
The same way lizards grow tails.
Why would it turn into a human?
I'm joking. That was 100% a joke. Dislike this video if you want.
So Tyrion decides he wants to get smuggled into King's Landing to talk to Jaime, which should have probably been a more emotional moment, but
Yeah, that was sped up. Like, how did Tyrion find them?
he got in contact with Bronn.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, wait, you didn't.
Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa, am I
Bronn set up the
tweaking?
meeting.
Bronn was like, he took him down to the dragon pit just so he could talk to Jaime. He missed that somehow.
Next. Where was that at?
What do you mean?
When
Right, like leading up to Tyrion talking to Jaime.
Bronn
it's
brought
Bronn.
Jaime down, and he was like, "Well, you two have stuff to talk about," and then he
Well,
left.
no, I know that.
And he's like, why are you bringing us down here? It's like, oh, no one wants to see it. And then he's like, something about swinging his sword. He's like, you won't be swinging at me. And then Tyrion walks out.
okay, I remember that, but I didn't put two and two together until now. Next question. Or next
So
poll.
that's when we
next
kind of
question.
see, we go back to Winterfell and we see like the Arya Sansa tension.
And I really like Arya's character now. she was kind of stagnant for a little bit, but now she's like Arya's a badass. And I also love how she defended Jon.
Mm-hmm.
I do
Sansa,
like that.
Sansa has just had a tricky life.
Sansa hasn't made up to Arya yet. When they broke ways, like they were still way at odds, and now she's found this note that's just gonna put another
But the
freaking
thing
wedge
is,
in there.
we could put that to bed because I don't think that anything goes down with that without Bran knowing.
I think
If something were to happen with like Arya, like I'm not saying this is going to happen at all, but if something were to happen with like Arya killing Sansa before Bran has his say in it, then the show sucks.
No, I'm just saying Sansa has to make a sacrifice. She has to make it up in some way to Arya because she's still in debt. She's still in the red with Arya.
They basically, I don't want to say they hated each other, but they were so different when they left, and they still are.
See, I don't.
I'm the Joffrey thing. The Joffrey thing was between them.
Oh yeah,
but the whole Sansa Arya thing. Like, I like Arya. Sansa has her moments. But I agree with Arya kind of standing up for Jon and that whole thing. But Arya is like, people keep defending Arya, and then they get mad at Dany when I think Arya might be the most psycho on the show.
she is.
So I don't understand. Like, this whole Winterfell storyline is kind of getting on my nerves.
That whole thing got on my nerves. Seeing Peter around the corner, like I just set this up. That annoyed me. I think Peter should be coming to a close, and maybe this is the final straw.
Yeah, maybe Bran comes in and intervenes.
That's what I'm hoping. Because Bran is one of the best characters on the show. Bran has to come and save the day here.
Yeah, and if this keeps going on, if we see like any more of them building up this Arya Sansa tension, which I feel is
she going to kill Littlefinger with his own dagger? Is that what's being said?
I feel like that's where it's going.
Or Bran will. He'll warg into Arya. Let's go.
Next question.
Okay.
Next bullet.
So this is when we get like the Tyrion Jaime thing, and I don't know. I feel like this moment should have been.
It was fine. They rushed it. I just like Tyrion just appeared, and like they talk for a couple seconds, and then he comes out.
Yeah, and then
then we get the Gendry part though. That was cool. The whole Gendry scene was cool. They even had Davos say, "Thought you'd still be rolling," because everyone's that was 100%.
That's fan service. Everything else in the show so far hasn't really been.
People say everything else is fan service,
even though
that was because everyone's like, "I bet Gendry's still rolling."
Yeah,
and that was literally put in to say that. But I really like that whole scene. I like when he grabs the hammer.
It's pretty cool.
And then the scene when them leaving. And I knew that they weren't going to get out of there peacefully with the guards.
Plus, they kind of like this is when like the writing comes into play, where the writers know that they need to show that Gendry knows how to use it and that he will be helpful with Jon in the Wall. So that's how they have the Kingsguard, and he kills the Kingsguard, and you're like, okay, this guy can fight.
How can we have Gendry prove himself?
Yeah,
we'll have some stupid guards.
And then they head on out.
Mm-hmm. I got this whole Gendry thing spoiled for me in the opening credits of the show, because I know like the actors that play the characters, and the actor that plays Gendry is in the opening. I was like, wait a second, like at least for the Hound, they played like the Hound thing. They played the Hound like scene before the opening credits, but for this one they just played.
That's a good point. They should really just kind of, if you're gonna make somebody show up like that out of the blue, maybe keep their name to the end credits.
Yeah, whatever. Well, it was fine. I mean, it was about time that he showed up, and we kind of saw a guy with a hammer in the trailer. So,
and honestly, I think a lot of the times they assume for the like borderline average advanced watcher viewer that not a lot of them look at the names during the opening credits. But that's still stupid. I agree with you. But like, I think they kind of look at it from that standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of my fault for paying attention, I guess. Okay,
don't pay attention.
So then we have Jaime talking to Cersei about
and we touched
Tyrion, and like she says that she's pregnant. Don't betray me.
Yeah.
Something interesting though is
fake.
like the reason why I like Cersei is because it's acted so well. Like Cersei, like you can just tell that she's like evil, man.
Yeah,
she's just
really wears her heart on her sleeve. Yeah,
like when Jaime tells her that Tyrion came, and she just sits there for a little bit, then she does like that head thing. I'm like, this person's freaking.
You sit there and then.
What did our brother have to say? I'm like, oh god, she knew the entire time.
It's good. Like I'm sick of her character, not the actress and.
I don't know. She's important, and I feel like she's going to be there till the end of the
They
die.
can kill Cersei and recast her as Cersei's cousin?
Yes, moving on.
Get
Next
out of here.
bullet.
So this is when Davos brings Gendry to meet Jon, and he's supposed to lie about his name, but then he comes out and says that.
Yeah,
That's
and
great.
they-
That's great.
like,
Just
it's
staying
funny
in the
too.
back.
It's-
Just get it out there.
Mhm.
And it's funny too because we talked about this a little bit. It's funny because they're right out the gate. They seem like they have a pretty like they build a right there relationship formed,
Mhm.
and it's funny because like you're like, oh, they'll probably be bestest of friends, but then if you think about it, their dads,
Their actual fathers.
their actual fathers had a war against each other directly between the two of them.
It's pretty interesting. I like that how they're like our fathers were friends. When I mean technically they were because Ned's still Jon's dad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
his
but-
non-biological.
Mhm. But yeah, just pretty cool.
And to be fair too, like I know what you're saying now when you say Ned is Jon's dad
Mhm.
because Ned raised him.
Mhm.
Rhaegar had no say in Jon's childhood or how he should be raised. So
And that's absolutely going to be John's point of view too, because
Mhm.
he's said that on multiple occasions.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, Ned's my dad.
yeah, and like the only thing that Jon kind of got from Rhaegar is kind of like his
sword,
his
sort of.
his character, like how he doesn't like fighting and he just but he wants to do what needs to be done. That's kind of what because Rhaegar was like obsessed with prophecy and all this stuff. That's why people think he did sneak off with Lyanna because there was like a prophecy that he was going to have 3 kids and that one of them was going to be the prince who was promised, but then his wife couldn't have any more kids, so he snuck off with Lyanna so that he could have one more child. That would be the prince that was promised, which ends up being Jon
Or princess.
or princess, I
Which
don't
is
think-
Arya.
No, I think that Jon's the prince who's promised. There's no way he's not at this point. And people think like, oh, maybe it's a red herring. No, at this point, you've built up the entire show to this one thing. Like it kind of has to be like Jon's important, or else he would have died long time ago. But then we get Jorah, Jon, Gendry all leaving. Jorah has a farewell with Dany.
We talked
Jon
about
has a
that.
farewell with Dany, where they exchange longing eyes to
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And then
Completely platonic.
yep, sure. And then Arya is sneaking around in Winterfell, finds the Raven and Littlefinger's bed, which he
Yeah.
planted.
That whole thing pissed me off.
And
Bran will save the day there.
That Raven was the one that Sansa, like Cersei, made her right to rob after they imprisoned Ned, saying like, just come up here and bend the knee to Joffrey.
So there's so much, unless Sansa just says what's up when
But-
Arya brings it to her.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, I was a kid. I was forced to do this. Like, I mean, what was Sansa supposed to do there?
And Arya loved Ned. All Sansa has to say is this: I had to write this to try and save our dad.
Yeah.
Or you could have Bran come in and say, "Littlefinger set you
If
guys up."
Arya doesn't understand this, if Arya doesn't understand that Sansa was young and she was forced to write this, and then she's just like, nah, you should have killed Cersei and all that
and
stuff.
then Arya kills
Sansa
end the
takes
show
her
for me,
face, and then she takes over Winterfell as Sansa.
and then kills Jon when he comes back.
What-
Sansa's the Night King.
What does Littlefinger want to happen here?
He wants to drive a wedge between Arya and Sansa. So
It goes
that,
beyond that.
Yeah,
No.
but no, he wants to because then Sansa will be easier to manipulate because she'll have less people supporting her.
And
like, in
So
her
he
own
just wants to
family.
drive Arya away.
He wants to drive the Stark family away. So
Away.
I think
They
he
wanna
wants
separate.
he wants Bran to do the same thing. Like he tried to give him a present so that he would warm up to him, but Bran doesn't have any emotions anymore. So it's a futile effort.
And
but
Bran was just like, "Ooh, that's still one of my favorite scenes in the season so far."
It's a good one. But finally, we get kind of what this whole season has been building up towards. Jon arrives at Eastwatch, has kind of like that little discussion with Tormund, like where he has that thing where it's like, how many queens are there now, and then like that, and he asks
And
about
then
Brienne and
you
everything.
bring the big woman.
Yeah.
that's just a line
Can-
for ages.
Can Tormund Giantsbane be like the king of Game of Thrones?
Yeah, why not?
Can he just like take
I don't-
over?
Why not? I don't think he'd
Yeah.
be the best, but sure. And then
No,
Jon
but-
can be the hand.
This whole scene was, I feel, executed perfectly. You have all these personalities clashing.
When they go down to like talk to the Brotherhood and stuff.
It's just all these personalities clashing, and then eventually they're like, "Wait, we're not going to drag out these emotions for the sake of the show and all this stuff." They're like, "We're not dumbasses. We're gonna just go out there and do our business."
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was fine, and
And
the
I
walking
love
scenes. Come on,
Jon.
Nothing
Jon,
gets better than that.
Jon always has the best lines with the whole "we're all on the same side," and then Gendry's like, "Well, how do you know? How could it be?" And he's like, "Because we're all breathing." Perfect. I mean, that's kind of what the whole show is boiling down to is just the living versus the dead. So
Yeah, and this is where The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones will connect. Anyway, no, I'm joking. Okay,
but then like the Suicide Squad's formed.
Yeah,
they're
you
about
have-
to head out.
you have the Dream Team about to go fight the Night King and the White Walkers. Like it literally, like everything in the show has not made me more excited than this.
Really,
Yeah,
even
this
if the plan is stupid in your eyes.
the plan is stupid. I don't care about that. I care about these 7 guys going out there and fighting these.
It is
Okay.
exciting.
Now I have some talking points about, and I'm not going to make any predictions for the next episode because I got something spoiled for me because the internet's awful. But
Yeah.
I do have some questions for you guys about like certain predictions, and I can talk about some of them. But like a lot of people have been complaining about the pacing of the season, and personally, I think it's fine because they kind of
What,
need
that
to
it's
speed things
too
up.
fast?
I think people are
Yeah.
saying. I think people are complaining about the pacing because they're just now learning what what pacing is.
Yeah, and people try to say that when they had the books to rely on, they took their time and add more detail. When you think about it, the first time that we see Cersei and Jaime, they're at King's Landing, and then a couple scenes later, they're in Winterfell in the first episode. That's a weeks long journey.
They are absolutely speeding it up. It's
Yeah.
really sure.
Oh,
But
yeah, but it's not bad.
But I know. But it's they are under the gun right now. They have a deadline. Yeah, that's why they announced. I know it's a rumor, but they announced that there's going to be possibly premiere length episodes in the next season because they know that there is more to wrap up than they have time to wrap up. So I'm completely okay with the pacing because I know the purpose behind it.
Yeah, and
it doesn't take away anything from me.
like
Not for me
even
either,
even
yeah.
at this point, like people are like complaining about how there's less like details, like super small details that you can pick up, and then it alludes to things in the future. Because I feel like the whole show had those details. It's because it's
whole
leading up to this.
Right,
The whole
right.
show,
We're here.
Like you said,
is
we're in the
that
third act.
detail. The whole show is that detail.
Like this is the climax of the entire show. This is what we've been building up to, and I kind of feel like it's kind of like denial for some people because they don't want the show to end. But
It could
this is the end, guys.
could
Like,
be.
this is what the show's built up
I'm
to.
gonna be sad. I may be for television in general. I may be the saddest I've ever been for a TV show to end for this.
Yeah,
for good reason.
But we got the spin-offs coming or whatever it's gonna
yeah,
be.
the spin-offs will never compare to this.
What if it's better?
I don't think it will. I actually don't think that anything could ever happen.
You don't think any show ever could be better than Game of Thrones?
The spin-offs for
Okay.
Game of Thrones could ever be better than Game of Thrones. I
Yeah.
don't think I don't see that ever happen.
And
I don't know. Well, who am I to say?
But the reason they're wrapping up is because we are 7 seasons into this massive budget show. You have the actors, deservedly so, getting $1 million an episode. They just need to wrap this up. They're not going to have the time or the money to keep pumping out season after season after season after season because they know where the end is. They're almost there, so they're like, we might as well just end it now. 2 shorter seasons, longer episodes. Like next week's episode is 71 minutes.
Higher budgets.
Yeah, because
Like,
that's the whole reason why the
production
episodes are
value.
shorter is so that they can spread out the season-long budget over
Yeah.
shorter amount
I
of
mean,
time.
That's CG in the dragon attack. That's not.
And we'll probably
cheap.
get massive
That was
CG next
that was
episode too.
Yeah, that was probably almost. I don't want to. I honestly have
Go ahead,
no idea.
throw a-
but
throw a number
I'm
out
gonna
there.
Throw out there. I think that was maybe even close to or maybe approaching like 30% of the budget for that episode.
I want to
I
hear a
feel-
number. Like, how much do you think that scene cost?
Because it's $10 million for.
I feel every time there's a massive dragon scene, it's like 25% of the budget gone.
And that episode is 10 million, but now that's shortened. You have to divide that out. So what's probably like 1 point or 10 point.
I don't
13
know. It's
million
like I'm gonna
episode?
say
I don't know.
$20 million for that final fight.
Wow.
Say that again.
$20 million for like that episode 4. They have $100 million for the whole season.
That seems about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because episode 2 or
Yeah.
episode 1.
No, just talking, and then you get like that's kind of how Game of Thrones is though. You have like these kind like very enthralling talking sequences where it's just kind of character development, people talking, and then you have like those giant battles that they're kind of I guess relying more on now, but it makes sense because everything's coming to a head and when stuff it's just going to explode out and
They just need to knock Tyrion out before every fight from now on.
yeah,
so we
and
can
then it
save
just
money.
he wakes up, oh the battle's over. Nice, what happened? Yeah, all the characters die.
Yeah. Oh, Gendry killed Jon Snow. Arya's on the throne.
Name off. You can't because you got
Wait,
some
hold
stuff
on.
Spoiled. Oh, what are you gonna say?
I got more talking points.
Okay.
Do you think that this whole capture a white mission is going to be successful?
Yes.
No.
You don't.
No.
You do.
Yes.
I think that something more important happens. That they're like abort kind of thing.
Okay.
2 aborts.
2 aborts.
Well, then what do you think?
That makes a.
I don't
child.
know.
What do you think the finale would be then?
What am I say? Why am I on this podcast?
You think it's going to happen?
Yeah.
Like the whole white thing?
Yeah.
I think it will happen, but I think it takes a long time for something to progress with that. Like at first, like when they first encounter this army, I don't think they're never going to be thinking that at first. They're just going to be protecting themselves, and then an opportunity will arise, and then they'll get it. But
I think they have it by the end of the season.
I think they have it by
The
the end of
way?
the next
Mhm.
episode. Maybe.
Like,
Next episode?
okay, so
Am I stretching it?
in terms of
I mean-
success.
Well, I mean, we were talking about Sam getting out of that place,
Mhm.
and man, we were like, what's it going to take, like 2 episodes to get out of there? He's out of there like
Yeah.
20 minutes into the next
So
episode.
We'll see.
When do you think he gets back to the story?
Finale.
The finale?
Finale. I think.
Yeah,
I think there's no Sam this coming episode.
I think this next episode is entirely like Hard Home or whatever, where it's like, I mean,
I want it
or
to be the
Watches on the Wall, where
yeah,
it's
the
north of
whole-
the wall the entire time.
Yeah, and it's gonna be the whole episode is gonna be this event.
So in terms of success of the mission, how many people do you think we're losing out of this
5.
main 7? You think 5
Out
people?
of the
No,
main
no,
7?
4. Sorry,
Which ones?
Thoros, Barrack, Jorah, and the Hound.
The Hound's dead.
So I think that leaves Davos. I think it leaves Davos, John.
Davos isn't north of the wall, so of course.
Oh
he's
no, not
surviving.
Davos. John, Gendry, and who else is there?
Tormund.
Hound survives. Tormund dies. I completely forgot about Tormund, which I don't know.
You
how,
think
but
Jorah dies though?
I think Jorah dies. I do.
Man, that sucks.
I
I
don't
like
think
Jorah. a
Jorah
lot.
dies.
I look
Yeah,
at
I
every
don't
other
think he dies.
character.
I think 2. I think you lose 2.
Well, then the Hound has to die.
I don't want the Hound to die either.
Exactly. So I mean, I think it's okay. Everyone I said before Jorah and the Hound's a toss or they're dead. I think it's set up perfectly.
Like
for
the
that.
Brotherhood's done.
Actually, I do think the Hound's dead because of that whole scene in the first episode or second episode where they try and connect. First episode where they
If
Thoros, Barrack, and the Hound kind of like they want you to get more connected to him. We'll see. I think it's more of a toss-up with a coin toss with the Hound and Jorah. I don't really know. I can't tell you. There's nothing there for me to say why.
If the Hound never fights the Mountain, it will be somebody's fault. Either George R. Martin or whoever is
David
editing
and
his
Dan.
shit for the show dropped the ball.
You really want it to happen. You want Clegane Bowl.
I
Yeah.
want the Clegane Bowl, but I don't think we're gonna get it.
I think
Everybody
like,
wants- who
honestly, if
doesn't
the
want
Clegane
it?
Bowl happens, I think the Hound's dead. I don't think he'd win.
I think so too.
But people, you know what people are saying? The Hound's gonna survive this thing. He's gonna go to King's Landing with them when they bring the White to Cersei. That's where you're gonna get the Clegane Bowl.
Why would they bring the White to Cersei?
That's what the whole
That's
thing
what
is.
The plan is, dude.
I thought they were bringing it to Danny.
Well, what they're doing is they're bringing
Oh.
it.
Convince
kind
Cersei.
of-
So
She's
everyone-
not going to get convinced. Why the fuck are they doing
Exactly.
this?
That's why we hate this plan.
No, here we go. Here we
God.
go. Well, the plan is more than just trying to convince Cersei because there's going to be people, hopefully,
Yep.
from all over the kingdoms, or even like the
Right,
maesters
right. They just
there.
parade
Yeah,
it
you're
through
gonna
the middle of
It's
the
like
continent
the
and-
Walk of Shame, except with the white. So everyone's like, if Cersei, everyone would turn on Cersei. The whole population of her city would turn on her if she didn't.
Yeah. Also,
That's their goal.
there's
Yeah.
this. The freaking TV went off again. So, so they made this whole big deal with Sam that he said to the Archmaester, if you were to tell everyone that this thing exists, people would believe you. And I think they made a big deal about that because if they can convince the kingdoms that this threat is happening, then season 8 is just them fighting the White Walkers.
You think Cersei would get off her high?
I don't think. I honestly, I don't think Cersei's gonna help at all. But I think everyone else will.
You think Jaime's gonna take charge and be like, "We're helping"?
I
and
think-
Cersei's gonna be like, "So be it."
Cersei-
She'll sit in her red keep.
Cersei is in control of the Kingsguard or whatever. Jaime is the general of the Lannister army, and he listens to Cersei. But if he commands his men to go help, they're gonna go help. So I feel like that's what's gonna happen. Is Jaime's just gonna march and help.
Sounds
'Cause
good.
he has to, man. Jamie, come on, dude. Like, if you end up doing
Bron's gonna
nothing,
give his life for him. He's gonna make the full turn. He's gonna take the army.
Bronn
Cersei will
rides a
find out about the
dragon.
whites. She won't care. She'll still play the Game of Thrones, and that'll
Yep.
go all the way to the
I
end.
think we're not giving David and Dan enough credit. I think that all these storylines that were like it would suck if it didn't happen. I think a lot of them will come full circle.
But then people would just say fan service, even though this is what the show's been building up for.
well, those are the type of people that
Want to
buy.
wait for the books anyways.
There's-
That will probably never happen.
There's a difference between fan service and just good plot.
Yeah,
like,
like-
if you know what the plot
and
is,
if
that's
it's
not
been-
fan
and
service
if it's
to
been
finish
building
it.
for 6 seasons,
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to come around
And
sometime.
It's
people are
not fan
starting to
service
say-
if Chekhov's gun goes off in the third act.
Yeah, people are saying like everything's becoming predictable. It's like we've had 7 years for the TV show, 20 years for the books of people just thinking and thinking in the off season because all they want to do is talk about Game of Thrones, and they come up with these things that it's like eventually someone's gonna figure out what happens.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be at least one person out there that's done their research on every facet of this story and knows.
Yeah, and especially with something like Game of Thrones, where you look at something that happens in season 5 and then you rewatch the show, you're like, man, they've been building this up for the entire show.
Exactly.
if
You go
pay
back.
attention.
You go back. There's so much. There's like a ridiculous amount of hints that point to almost every event.
Especially like the Jon Targaryen thing, that's like played out throughout the entire show. That
Yeah.
if you know it, then you're like, wow, I'm an idiot for not noticing this stuff. But like, I don't know, I'm getting upset going on Reddit and stuff and seeing people complain about.
You gotta
Stop.
steer clear of
Just
YouTube
no
videos.
more-
This is what I've been doing. I'll watch my videos after the season because you got something spoiled. I don't know what it is. I don't want to know. Mike doesn't want to know. But you just gotta kind of. I know you love watching them, but you gotta calm down because there's spoilers out there, especially with HBO getting hacked daily. So if you're watching right now, do not look at the recommended videos because we will be tagging Game of Thrones. Watch out for spoilers.
I don't think there will be that many spoilers.
Plus, we
don't
get
too
50
many big
We get
things.
50 views a pop. I don't think there's going to be anything crazy going on, but still, just watch out for them. It ruins.
Do you,
It ruins the authenticity of the show to me.
do,
It
you,
does.
do you think it's a bad model to say that we shouldn't let people go or tell people to go online and look for Game of Thrones things when it's exactly what
yeah,
this is?
exactly. I love listening to the discussions and stuff. And honestly, if I
Don't
like,
watch our podcast.
it's not
That makes sense, but like me personally, I don't go and watch stuff.
it's not the content creators that are doing it. It's the random people that just
They want to be
post.
known.
They post a minute-long video with a spoiler in the thumbnail, and then I'm like, how did YouTube not take this down already? Like they should be on the ball
Well, no. People
with stuff tagged Game of Thrones.
Not
'cause
even YouTube. People should. Viewers should be reporting that.
Yeah. Plus, it's like there needs to be some white knights that saw the leaked episode and are going through and making sure people don't get it spoiled. That's what people should do when they watch it: is make sure that other people don't get spoiled
But
who
then
are waiting
again,
for Sunday.
what's in it for YouTube? They have no connection.
It's
to
illegal.
No.
HBO doesn't want this stuff going out. HBO will get mad at YouTube and then sue YouTube.
I would love to see the Clash of Titans in court.
I would like YouTube. YouTube is very sturdy. HBO's getting hacked left and right. I feel like HBO would lose this one.
Yeah, but I just want to clarify. Go ahead and watch our podcast. But all I'm saying is you guys steer clear for that stuff. Like I'll watch some Game of Thrones videos, like the Steve summaries and all that stuff. but
That's all
how
I
you
was
get spoiled.
doing.
Yeah,
That's all I was doing.
I've watched those during season and all that. You just have to kind of be conscious. Like I opened up a Facebook thing, and got a spoiler for me, but it's not that huge of a deal. So I got lucky. I dodged the bullet there. But people just want to be a troll. They'll comment on Facebook posts, even if it has nothing to do with it, just to be seen. They want the attention. So
It's currency. It's information currency.
The
Yeah.
whole show is ruined to me because of that one person.
Is it?
No.
I can't even take how HBO has like 3 little lines that say what's going to happen in the episode. I don't even like that much information going
Okay,
into it.
the description for the episode is the most vague thing that there's ever been.
I don't
Jon
care.
goes to meet Daenerys. It's enough for me. Don't tell me that.
Exactly.
Don't tell me that.
I'd rather go into a movie, a show, anything, knowing nothing about it.
Right.
Honestly,
I watch movie trailers because they're fun and whatever, but like honestly, I could go into a movie. I'd rather go into a movie without seeing a trailer for it.
Yes. Especially a 2.5-minute trailer that shows
Yeah.
every single
And some
scene
people do
that
not
is
know how to make a
pertinent to the
trailer.
story.
Wait, so do you
Give
like?
me a one-sentence description of the movie. I'll be like, oh, interesting.
What about
Go watch.
What about the things after when it's like on the next episode of Game of Thrones?
I hate it.
No,
I don't
I do
watch it.
too.
I never
But this
watch
one
it.
for episode 6 is the
thing-
best I've ever seen.
Yeah, but the only thing that gets me hyped for the only reason I get hyped for those is because I just came off the high of the show.
Yeah. The
If
one-
honestly, if I would not go back right now and watch that, unless
Okay.
you told me to, because you love those.
I love them. I love trailers. I love the art behind trailers. 'Cause
hate
it
it.
gets people hyped. You know when there's
It's
bad
all
news.
marketing. I understand it. I don't like them.
Okay,
Trailers are cool.
I'm on your side. I'm
But-
on your side a little bit because while the descriptions for the episode are fine with me, the thing that I hate the most, that is almost unavoidable if you watch it live, is the previously on. Because they'll show stuff from seasons 3 or whatever. You're like,
And
why is this
people get
coming back?
confused. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm like, why is
same
this stuff
thing. Same
coming
thing.
back?
It's going to tell you exactly where the
Or like
storyline's going.
for episode 5 when it's like when it showed like the Hound in them, I'm like, they're gonna be waiting at Eastwatch for them.
Yep.
Like I just knew
Yeah.
that instantly.
I don't
like-
want any of that. I want to click play and I want it to play. I don't want any of that other shit.
You just want.
I do.
dun, dun,
You
dun, dun, dun.
No, you said like they showed the Eastwatch in the opening thing. We kind of knew that though,
I know, but
and I like the theme and I like the intro.
but the thing,
No,
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 I'm not
no,
talking about the
no.
intro. I'm talking about previously on. When it says when it has the
Previously
Hound like,
on.
oh, and then like you're like, why
I
is it
didn't-
showing the Hound?
this is why I'm confused because I didn't get to watch this episode live. I didn't see the previously on.
Yeah.
That's why I'm confused. I'm sorry. Just like the video if you want.
Also, the thing is that like yeah, I figured the Hound was gonna go on this journey with them and stuff, but they built up like the whole like them walking down to the prison cells and then being like, oh, these guys showed up, and then it's like a slow pan over to the Hound. It's like, yeah, we knew it was gonna be them. Like,
You're
but
the Hound, Jon Snow.
I saw you at Winterfell once.
That's fine. Okay. Does that wrap it up?
I mean, the last question is, will Cersei care about it? But I feel like we touched on that.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of We Know Nothing. Next week is going to be a big one. I feel like we're going to film our reactions to it because I
Yeah,
feel like
we'll
it's going to be a massive one. But
I'm going to yell a lot.
That's fine. Yeah.
I mean, Danny and John are going to fall in love. They're going to
No.
get married. John's going to find
yeah,
out.
and in our last episode, we did say that we're gonna put 5 and 6 together, but obviously, with how big
Yeah,
the
these episodes are getting pretty big.
progression of the episodes, we're definitely gonna cut them into individual ones.
I just want to say that earlier I said Jon Snow is going to have the Han Solo storyline. I was wrong. What I meant was the Luke
Luke
Skywalker,
Skywalker.
because
That's
it
what I
said-
figured.
Right, thank you.
Then that makes sense. That's why I was confused, and that's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
I made the Han Solo.
Right,
sto-
right.
okay.
Because then he's gonna have some feelings for his aunt, and then they maybe act on these feelings, and then John finds out, and then he's like, I want to die inside, even more so than normal.
and then he gets his hand cut off.
But John is dead on the inside already.
We'll see you guys next week.
Adios.
Bye.